Well, Tennessee couldn't have had a better result than they did Saturday in Game 1 against Chattanooga, where they won 69-3. With the starting quarterback, Nico Iamaleava, getting his second career start at Tennessee, he looked as effortless as he has his entire time at Tennessee and his performance in Game 1.
We got a glimpse of it against Iowa in the Citrus Bowl when he accounted for 4 touchdowns. He was better this game. Now, I realize Chattanooga is not a greatly talented team, but the way he performed, he started the game with 10 completions in a row. He was 19 of 22 at one point. He threw for 313 yards in the first half, which ties an all-time record for a half by a Tennessee quarterback. I thought he was terrific. Didn't make many mistakes out there, I didn't think. He did. Now, if you want to ding him, he was only 3 out of 6 on his last 6 passes in the first half. But he played so well, he didn't even play the second half, right? The offense was so good, and there wasn't any reason to roll him back out there. But I thought for his first start at Neyland Stadium, I thought he was outstanding. Yeah,
and I think if there was a spot where he wanted to improve most, it was at the end of the first half, where he wanted to make sure that he stays dialed in moving forward, because he didn't really finish that quarter the way that he wanted to. And you spoke about his 313 passing yards. He's also just the 4th ball ever in school history to have at least 300 yards in any given half in school history, which is an incredible feat to do that in your second start. Again, granted, it was against Chattanooga, but I do like immediately how he was going to Chris Brazzell, how he was finding his connection with Brew McCoy. I like that we were able to stretch the field. I think there was near 10 plays that had big play-worthy moments that were at least 15 yards or more. Of course, Chris Brazzell and Dont'e Thorton having a couple of those. Just kind of initial reactions you saw from those 3 wide receivers' performances today.
I liked him. I thought, and Brew McCoy in particular, coming off that just brutal ankle injury that required multiple surgeries, I thought he performed very well. He looked comfortable out there. You saw Dont'e Thornton, who the last time we saw him, he caught a touchdown pass in the game and got hurt a year ago. But he moved from the slot, which was not his normal position, to the wideout spot. And he did it last year, and then you saw him start to emerge. But in this game, he had a mindset that he was going to have a great game to start this season. He did that. He had a very good offseason. And then with Brazzell, the transfer from Tulane, he is a guy, he's got a lot of speed. He gets open too. And certainly that's going to be inviting for Nico to hit him. But I thought those 3 wide receivers in particular were outstanding. The guy that a year ago caught the most passes, Squirrel White, didn't make as much noise as those other guys, but still, you know what he's capable of. The other thing I liked about what Nico did, he completed passes to 10 different receivers in the first quarter and a half. So he was spreading the wealth. Yeah,
no, he definitely was. And I think what we were talking about earlier in yesterday's episode was about Brew McCoy and how he is playing his first game since his grandfather passed away. And he mentioned that the reason why he was so amped up on one of his catches is because it reminded him of a catch he had the last time his grandfather was watching him, who in fact was also a Hall of Famer when he played at Pepperdine.
Yeah, he was. And so, and it was kind of a neat story. The other part of the story was that Bruce said that during his recovery, during his therapy, the first time he took the boot off his ankle was when he was with his grandfather in the hospital.
Yeah, isn't that incredible?
And he's been inspired by his grandfather. He talked about what a great athlete his grandfather was, and now his grandfather would be really proud of what Brew was able to do today.
Yeah, and I think, you know, another aspect on the skill position side that I want us to talk about is, of course, Dylan Sampson. He rushed for 3 touchdowns in the first half, especially on that opening drive. This game looked a lot like it did in their season opener against Virginia a year ago, where Dylan Sampson also scored on the opening drive of the game for Tennessee and also had 3 rushing touchdowns. Of course, he added a receiving touchdown to get 4 on the day, but really picking up where he left off, which is exactly what he said he wanted to do. He was limited in spring, limited in fall, and he didn't want to come out here looking like he kind of, you know, was paying it back. Like, he wanted to look like he didn't skip a beat coming back out here.
He also talked about being tired of being hit by his teammates.
Yes.
So he wanted to go against somebody else, and he did. What impressed me about Sampson, we know he runs with good vision, and we know that he's elusive. I thought he ran with some power, too. I thought he was very physical and did a good job. There wasn't much that I saw out of him that I didn't like. And certainly he's fantastic in the openers, right? You alluded to that, 7 touchdowns in the last 2 openers that he's played. But he is a back that is very versatile. Josh Heupel touched on the fact that he could do just about anything you would want a running back to do. I look for big things out of Sampson this season.
Yeah, and to build on the aspect of him playing with a lot more power, of course he's not your Jalen Wright type of running back who really did have a ton of power about him. That might be your Cam Seldon or Peyton Lewis, but it was really nice as we have a play and go over top of us to see that Dylan Sampson did have that power. He's being able to break through. You know, the first, points of contact. Like, he's going to get a lot of yaks, I think, this year.
I did too. By the way, I think Nico just completed that pass to the airplane.
Yeah, probably.
But I think that Sampson does have that versatility. And you mentioned yards after catch.
Yeah.
I'm going to be really interested in that because I think Nico is a more accurate passer than Joe Milton.
Yes.
He's going to hit receivers in stride. They're going to gain a lot more yards after catch. We saw that on a 2-play quick scoring drive.
Yep.
So yeah, and he also throws well on the run. He's an accurate passer on the run. We've just seen a glimpse of what he can do, but I thought he was fantastic in the first half.
You talk about the quick touchdowns and passes that they were able to make. I think the in-helmet communications, it's only going to amp up this already up-tempo offense. I think in the first half there was maybe 2 or 3 touchdown drives that took longer than 2 minutes.
Yeah, and
it was very Hendon Hooker-esque as well, you know.
He was wearing out the moccasins.
No, it was.
Yeah, it was. There was another stat I want to bring up, which I thought was very relevant in that first half. Tennessee ran 26 plays on first down and gained 333 yards on first down plays. They hit a number of big pass plays, whether it was 33, 51, 18 yards, but they really were efficient on first down, which helps you score quickly the way they were able to do it against the UTC.
And while we're in the running back conversation as well a moment ago, Deshaun Bishop, you know, getting his moment. He's worked so hard since his injury a season ago to get back to be a place that he could be a reliable back for Tennessee. And he had 2 massive runs back-to-back to eventually get into the end zone for Tennessee. Just how impressive or special is it that a Knoxville product from Carnes has been able to come out here and get his first Tennessee touchdown?
Meant a lot to him to get that touchdown. And there were a lot of people that questioned whether or not he was good enough to play at this level, whether he could play at Tennessee. And he came as a preferred walk-on. But it was interesting that one of his teammates, Dylan Sampson, didn't cut him a lot of slack. He said he scored 1 touchdown, but he should have scored 2. So leave it to another running back to get on another running back. But I thought Bishop, he looks like he belongs. He's a nice running back, good vision, cuts well. I think he can help Tennessee in that running back room.
Yeah, and I think if we flip to the other side of the ball, we look at defense a little bit. Tyree West getting the 1 sack of the game. Expected maybe a little bit more loud production. Obviously, they were able to hold the Mocs to about nothing all day long, just giving up that 1 field goal. Maybe it was 2 more if it wasn't, you know, wide on both of those attempts. But maybe just kind of what's maybe the message to the defense as they maybe look to get more production when they go up against an NC State type of team.
Yeah, I think one of the things that UTC did was they wanted a quarterback to throw it quickly. A lot of them will roll out and throw it quick to your tight end or running back, get rid of the football, because they knew how good Tennessee was with the pass rush and how sack happy a lot of those guys are. So they only had that 1 opportunity. It was kind of funny to hear West afterwards say, when he was tracking down the quarterback, please don't throw it, please don't throw it.
Please.
Yeah, and he got there in time to get the sack. Tennessee did a really nice job, though, stopping the run.
Yeah.
They held the Mocs to only 2.1 yards per carry. And a lot of times you say, well, that's because all the sack yards. There was only 1 sack.
Yes.
So that speaks well of the run defense. There were a couple times UTC gained a few yards on the run, but that's pretty good when you hold a team to 2.1 yards per carry.
Yeah.
So I thought Tennessee controlled the line of scrimmage. And holding an opponent to 3 points, I think UTC had maybe 227 yards.
Yep.
That was a really strong outing, I thought, by Tennessee's defense.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to build upon in this first game, getting ready for an NC State, but of course, you know, putting up 69 on the board, showing that you can be an explosive offense. Obviously, that'll differ a little bit now that they get into maybe a stiffer competition as the season wears on, but definitely the way you want to start the season. Thank you all so much for watching. Please make sure to like and subscribe. Also, Ben Testerman Part 2 with Jimmy Hyams and Ben Testerman will be coming up on Thursday. What should they know about that Part 2 of the interview? Well,
Ben is the best junior player that's ever come out of Tennessee, and he has talked a lot about he had played doubles with Billie Jean King at Wimbledon, which is phenomenal. He talked about how his dad was pretty tough on him when he was growing up as a tennis player, and there was a moment when Ben actually won a sportsmanship award but didn't win the tournament, and his dad was like, well, since you didn't win the tournament.
Yeah.
So, but Ben was very open about it. He put up a racket when he retired for 16 years. He only got back into it when his daughter Misha took up tennis.
Yeah, and that's an interesting story how she got back into it as well. So if you're wanting to give that a listen, definitely go back to the homepage under the rewind section and give that a listen. For Part 1, it's already up there. Part 2 will be up there on Thursday. But we will be back Monday to talk about NC State after we hear from Coach Josh Heupel on Monday for that weekly press conference. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and we'll be back later this week.